Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Crypto lifers, let's go, baby. Let's go. Welcome. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Let's get that music back up and running. Shout out to my beautiful lifers. Bitcoin on live support, 103,950 for BTC. Thank you for sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Let's jump on in to BTC. Did you work out today? Did you listen to Jim Rohn? Did you get your mindset in the morning? I did. I got myself prepared and ready to go, so no matter what they throw at me, I will be disciplined and ready. Bitcoin looks like it may be taking a tumble down to 98,000. BOOKMAP still screaming that the red is below us. It has not given up on giving us those red areas for BTC, so that's what's on the board. Right off the bat, the prediction is to the downside this morning. If you watched my Bitcoin update in the trading group, the prediction was also to the downside. We talked about the 1 hour being in a head and shoulder pattern. We'll show you that in a second, but look at this insanity. So anyone who shorted, you were in the money, and then a second later, you weren't in the money. Like if you didn't move your stop loss to break even and you were trading the 1 minute like me, they went and grabbed every single person who thought, so people were short, then they started moving their stop loss. And it's like, oh, you're going to take us down? Oh, no, we're going to grab everybody that thinks they got position, and then we're going to come right back down and wreck anyone that longed that. That is treachery right there. I told my whole team I'm not trading too much of the smaller time frames. That also, to me, kind of looks like a diamond. You know what I mean? It almost has some reversal diamond patterns. I don't know. It looks ugly as hell. As heck, I shouldn't say hell. I don't like to use those words. My wife always corrects me when I say things that she's like, you know, why would you say that? I'm like, you're right. You're totally right, babe. She is the queen of all that. So we take a look here. The head, this was an Adam and Eve double top technically last night. So last night, if you were in my trading group, we talked about the fact that my model was showing. We were above the 200 moving average, touching the 21. If you backtest this and trade it more than you don't, more than not, it plays to the upside. They've been using my model against me when we're in a downtrend. You see, below the daily 200 moving average, my model is less likely to play out. Look, there it is, a nice little flag there too that does not play out like it's an ascending triangle. That's why they are 50% patterns. Ascending triangles are 50-50. All right? They're called bilateral patterns. They're not put in the patterns with the most bullish patterns. Let me show you. I have a pattern sheet here that I always like to show. This is what I give people when they come and hang out and they take the class, right? But this right here is a pattern sheet, and you can see bilateral patterns at the bottom there, and you can see the ascending triangle. It means 50% of the time it goes up, 50%. It depends on usually the movement of price action. It's very simple, and this is a way to trade the ascending triangle, okay? Like here's an ascending triangle, but this broke to the upside. Understand? See that? Because the trend was up. So I find, personally, when you're making higher highs and higher lows and you go up, and then you make the flat top, but you go up and down, and then you make the flat top, you tend to move up. But when you're coming down, but then you kind of loop up and you make it here, if you're higher here, you tend to break down, just like we did here, you see? So, but here we ended up breaking up, okay? Here's another ascending triangle that breaks to the downside. Maybe I'll be a lot clearer about it. So I just want you to understand that this pattern is not a bull pennant. I think some people get it confused with the bull pennant because it does break out so much. You see? Well, like there you go again. Like it's not. But here it is doing absolute lovely sauce. The key is, if you catch this and you run this up, you make so much money, and then you have, proper risk management. Anyway, let's get back into what we're seeing today. We're battling the 1 hour 200 moving average. So right when I woke up this morning, I did an update for the trading group, right? And my mind's just, I wake up, I look, I'm like, They pumped it, and then they started to dump it as I fell asleep last night. I couldn't sleep last night. I don't know why. Some people know why, but I could not sleep last night. I sat there. I was going to fall asleep in it. You know what I mean? I just sat there staring at it all night long. I was enamored. I was absolutely enamored. It's a museum. It looks like it belongs in a museum. It's insane. It's a relic of time and space. Like, it literally is. It's beautiful, man. I'm sorry. Anyway, so look at this beautiful move. So we broke down, right? And then what I saw this morning was a shoulder, head, a right shoulder. And I said, we might as well head short. I said right here with a stop above here, and then the measured move takes you to the downside, right? And there's just a 68% chance that's going to happen. So we just no emotion. We just trade easy. You know, we just go with what the patterns tell us to do. Now, if the bears can't break us below the 200 moving average, this is all for show. And it doesn't mean we're going to the downside. So right now, we're in, you're in the money on the short if you took the call in the trading group. But we're kind of just, So that's the last thing I said, and I didn't take it. I'm just kind of sitting here. To me, price action's a little odd. I like to wait. I don't have to trade every. I was over trading a little bit into the muck, and I was making good gains when the market went my way. So I'm just kind of sitting and being a little more patient. It's like something came over me last week, and I don't know what it is. After that cleansing, that October 10th dump, and then it wasn't then when I got cleansed. It was like a month later. I don't know if it was, Mercury going into retrograde or something, which it probably was. Everyone always tells me that's what's happening. I see what you're saying. It does look like a Bart Simpson. Yeah, like in a slanted one. But remember, price action does stuff slanted too. It's not always perfectly lateral, right? Like this is, your perfect Bart Simpson. It's not always perfect. If you didn't know, a Bart Simpson is a real pattern. It's a real pattern in trading. Like you can see it there. That would be a Bart Simpson pattern. Don't have a cow, man. Anyway, that's the worst Bart Simpson you've ever seen. Don't, yeah. I'm not even going to discuss that, yeah, exactly. My mother was an artist. She was beautiful. She could paint. She could draw. I could do it if I push myself. I never said I can't do anything. But I have to really push myself, and I don't say I can't draw. I would never say I can't draw, but I wasn't like that kid that just could pick up the pen and just get it done. My buddy in high school, me and him used to do a lot of crazy stuff together. This dude was an amazing artist, Richard Harris. Shout out to Richard. I don't know where you are in life, but God bless you, buddy. We had some crazy times together. We watched Fight Club, and then we would go to a train station and kick each other's faces in. Yeah. Seriously, I know. Yeah, no, I'm not serious. We would cut school, take our shirts off on like an April or March day. It would be like 58 degrees in Boston. We'd go to these train stations where they had these big like backboards where you could sit on the other side, so no one could really see you. And we would have a serious fight on the concrete in the train station. Sad part is I got the better of him most of the time. I was just a better fighter in general. And it was kind of, I messed up. I have visions of me just beating this dude. He would kick me sometimes in the face, and we got it. And then we would say 10 minutes of just out and out, just whatever. And we didn't hate each other. We wanted to see what I can't explain it, man. We were sick. We were sick. All right. Sorry, I'm going to stop talking now because you guys might not want to be. Oh, man. I said, poor kid, man. No, it was my buddy Richard, though. We went through a lot of craziness together, man. A lot of craziness. I won't elaborate on our history. It was insanity. Anyway, so Bitcoin. Can it get held by the 200 moving average? Are we coming back to the downside? Let me show you the bigger time frame so you can get an idea of what's happening here. But we're getting into that oversold region. The 1 hour did get to a high area. It hadn't been that high since up here. That did also caution me. And we had a little bit of bearish divergence. 1 hour had this swing down while price swung up. They faked it out last night. They pumped it and then immediately brought it down. It was crazy. Like, all of a sudden, my buddy's like, oh, we're at 107. And I thought that was a breakout to the upside. I come back from outside and I see like 20 minutes later, and we're just like right back where I started. And I'm like, definitely an Irish thing. We shadow boxed until someone got you're funny, man. Wish you much love for the biggest state of the U.S., Rhode Island. Yeah. First rule of Fight Club. I know, right? You're never supposed to talk about it. Sam, I'm sure you got stories for days. Oh, we have a lot of stories. We mean all the personalities that live inside my head. Anyway, let's get into the monthly chart. Let's do our top-down analysis like we do every single day. The consistency breeds excellence over time. All right, you may have some losses. You may take some bumps in the road. I was going to show you something else that's going to open up your mind. I have so much planned for today. I can't wait to share. I can't wait. Anyway, so the monthly, right? As long as the monthly stays above this line, right, 102,600, we remain bullish. Like, you know, I mean, that's resistance, that is support. I mean, it doesn't look amazing. It doesn't look like it's definitely going to hold, but we only wicked close to that 200 moving average, right? Again, a lot of people want to see this other idea, which if we add it is the 50 EMA, which I'll show you how to add. If you want to add the 50 EMA, just type in EMA here, and you'll get exponential moving average, right? Moving average exponential. Click on that. All right, once you click on that, you're going to get it here. Hit the settings, click it to 50, and then you can make it whatever you'd like. I like to make it something that stands out compared to like this cayenne, right? There's no cayenne out there. And I must have made it a dotted line too, which is kind of cool. And then I could get rid of everything else. So you can see Bitcoin has never broken this dotted line. and it wicked to it this time, but it looks like, I mean, the weekly looks like it may be coming for it with a vengeance. The way that candle is set up is not fun, right? That's not a good look. Let's be honest. You don't want, I mean, a weekly candle that pumped up and came back down. We want to dump down and to come back up. We want tails. So not the best sign there for BTC. Anyway, let's jump back into the monthly. So the second this monthly candle gets below 1025 or closes below it, I'm going to be a bear. That's, you know, and then you can see that we're definitely going to be coming down to 95, 96,000. We may do it this month. Another thing that I'm concerned about as a bull, if you are a pretty big bull, this could make an inverted head and shoulder. This could make a head and shoulder pattern here. I mean, you can't say that's. We've seen them before. I know how they form. That could be the beginning. You know, flip it upside down. Similar idea, right? We just did this on the day on the 4 hour recently. You know, I would love it if that's not the case. I would love it if we kind of do something like this. We respect this trend line and we make an ascending. Even if we do that 1, 2, 3. It says like February Bitcoin breaks out. You see, so everyone that's overly bullish right now, I just don't see how we're going to 150,000 by the end of December. I don't see that. You know, it doesn't make sense to me. Again, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been watching price action. Unless we have a giga candle that just goes out of nowhere, you know what I mean? Which I guess, you know what I mean? Print money, giga, but like when, show me, this was a giga candle. So like, let's just say that we have a giga candle next month. All right? And so let me grab this candle here on the bars pattern. So say we get this giga candle right here. Okay, and let me get out of here so you can see. That would be the size of it right there. Okay, so it still says it's February 1st by the time we get to, I mean, that would be beautiful. I mean, we would start a run December, January, and February. It would be amazing. We do have enough shorts. You know, we are building some shorts here. The lower we start to draw in, the more shorts come on top. It's interesting. Let me explain something to you. You ever seen those whirlpools? Like in the movies, there's always, you know, or we've always like, there's the idea of that whirlpool, right? The water's spinning and it's getting sucked down into the middle, right? Right? And it's kind of a V, right? And everything here is getting sucked into the middle of the whirlpool, right? That's what happens. So here's price action, right? Here's Bitcoin. What happens is as Bitcoin starts to draw down and up and draw down and up and draw down and up, what it does is it keeps sucking shorts here, right? They start getting in and putting stops, liquidations. And the more it keeps doing this, the more we get this liquidity, right? It's sucking the liquidity around this area, not all the way in. I mean, eventually what happens is eventually it will come up and grab it all, right? So like, that's why this right shoulder will be made at one point. It'll be the last attempt to snatch all the short liquidity. But if there's just too much and not enough buy pressure, then we won't be able to get up here, you see? And if you get 2 months up here like this, that's the end of the bull run. And we'll, you know, it looks like we'll get a dump, but then you'll get one, you always, you know, and that would to me be the signal to get the heck out in March of 2026 at a 106. And then, you know, it would be nice if they let us down that easy. So I just want you to be prepared for the fact that this could be the top. I don't know if it is or not. I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance. I'm one of the only traders out here that will tell you, I'm not sure. I just trade the probabilities. Some people are, you know, up and down. It has to be. I will tell you there's all the, you know, I've looked at all the assets that dump in my life. And I've looked at everything that I've seen here. Look, there's even bearish div here on the monthly on a mass scale. Like, that's a big bearish divergence, right? See that? I mean, maybe we break out. The only thing is you could say, well, it's a giant rising wedge. Just testing the trend line. Like, there's nothing wrong with this. It's funny, I don't think I've done this just yet. I don't think I have made this the look, yo. And that would be the measured move. This length here, I've learned. A yo slipped out from my old days. Crazy. And now you're talking like 238,000 by August of 2027, though. You see what I'm saying? Like, this cycle is either a super cycle or you're getting bagged, man. You know, you're getting told a lie. So if you're not ready for the idea that it has topped out, to me, the more I extend the bigger time frames, the more it looks kind of likely. 2-day chart also doesn't look amazing. You have a bearish engulfing candle. Like, you can put all this in there. You know, it follows all this. And then this candle already is sending its way further down. You know, that's bearish to me. It doesn't look good. I don't even think you have a wick on the 2-week. You have a tiny one, but it's like, that's just kind of the day. That's intraday trading at this point, right? I need a bullish engulfing weekly to flip back bullish at this point. Nothing else will do. 100%. 100, and you know what I mean? Exactly. Like, I love what you just said. Like, we need this candle to close again, probably somewhere like this, and then we need the next candle to be a green candle that eats the red candle. If we can't, like this one, we can't get that. I can't subscribe to a reversal. I have to remain bearish. I'm with you. So I don't mean to be, I don't want to be a perma bear here. And believe me, I'll catch on to the fastest bullish move I can find. But man, it just doesn't look amazing. Let's be honest here. We're traders, you know, and look, this is that Adam and Eve too. Right there, which has also, you know, it has a measured move. That takes you to about $91,000. So if we don't, you know, it just is starting to look possible. And this is already, you could already say this is the head and shoulder. That also has this, you know, very similar measured move. You know, somewhere down to 90, somewhere between 88 and 91,000. Even right there, look, 85K. So it looks like we could be making a move down for BTC. Still, on the bigger time frames, I don't see a reason why we are going to reverse. So the weekly to me has spoken, and it still claims that we're going somewhere down to 88,000. BOOKMAP still holds red. Nothing has changed. Bitcoin has since dumped really hard during the stream, right? We're at 103,650 now to the downside for BTC. 10-day chart looks interesting. It's attempting to put in a tweezer bottom. 7-day, 8-day, 5-day chart. They all look interesting. It's funny. They look better than the weekly, which is weird, right? But they all look like they're attempting a tweezer bottom. This closes tonight. At least it would close its first tweezer bottom. Not a bullish engulfer, but it does show some support there at 101. 3-day chart, too, is attempting a tweezer bottom. That closes tonight as well in 8 hours. So there's some sign of hope here. You know, at this $101,270 level has some support, but man. And now let's just talk about this. Let's bring up what I'm looking at now. This, to me, like I said last night, looks like a bear flag, right? And a bear flag will break down to the downside, right? So that looks to me like a great place to enter a short. Risk to reward isn't bad. And it almost seems like it's what has, you know, so I put my stop above the 21, because if we cross the 21, things have changed. And I put my target right there. It's a 2.5 risk to reward ratio. And there's a chance we slip down to 86. You know, to get the 3-to-1, though, we got to get even low. But that's a bear flag. Okay? And you can also draw this trend line. And you can see that we've hit the top trend line. And then you can draw this bottom trend line. And that line coincides right there with the bottom trend line at 96,000. So it looks to me like Bitcoin's going to take a dump here on the daily. That's going to be a bearish engulfing candle on the daily time frame. If that closes, that's tweezer tops. You're basically front running a tweezer top. Flip it upside down, just like we front run a tweezer bottom. You'd be front running a tweezer top. It looks like a beautiful bull flag. Off the 21, above the 200, right? So, again, the 1 hour has to break the 200 moving average. But that looks bearish to me. And the entry actually was at 104. We're already starting to dump now to the downside. I'm missing my entry doing TA. Lately, it's been interesting. But that looks like it could go further down. I see a bear flag. 22-hour looks bearish to me. 12-hour looks bearish to me. It curved right now for the rollover. It's at 103,450. Bitcoin is imploding as we speak to the downside, right? There's a double top right there at 106,493. It just looks like more downside here for BTC, in my humble opinion. You'd have to get a bounce sooner than later and get tight. You know, see this area? I mean, you had an inverted head and shoulders. If Bitcoin breaks below 1018, you're likely headed down to that $90,000 level this time, because that's just what I'm seeing. Let's go to the smaller time frames and see what the battle is. Forgive me, I wish I didn't do the top down. I kind of wish I had jumped in, but hey, we do what we do and we can't regret it. We do the show the way we do it, but I would have loved to have been into that short scalp at the moment. It looked like there was good liquidity there. So look, the 1 hour, testing the 200 moving average. We started this morning with telling you that it's likely a good short. It's a head and shoulder pattern. I mean, it is what it is. Just trade what you see. Don't trade your emotions. You may wake up and feel a certain way in the morning. It doesn't matter. Fight those back and just trade like a bot. A bot says 1, 2, 3, do, do, do. That's halfway to the target already for Bitcoin. 103,500 for BTC, battling the 200 moving average on the 1 hour time frame, getting oversold as well. So remember, if you're in my trading group, you get an in-depth 8-minute update that explains all this, goes into depth of what I'm seeing, talks about what's likely going to happen, and shows you what, you know, basically if I'm bullish or bearish. And I woke up this morning and said, that's a head and shoulder. Likely hedge that with a short to the downside. Okay? That's just how it works. If I had to guess where we're going, you could already see me here just kind of looking at the idea that we're going to break to the downside here on the 1 hour. You see? And that this is the probable move to the downside. And then we can see the bear flag there on the 22-hour time frame telling us 91,000. So like when you're in my trading group, you are given this information at 7 in the morning. That when the market starts to move around 8 in the morning, you already have a big understanding of what's happening. Somewhere between 7 and 8, you get this update. And, you know, and at night you get the update too. And we go over kind of what happened each day. We cover it. And so this was kind of, this is what we were looking at. You know, the stop above those wicks. And so far, Bitcoin is responding bearishly to the downside. You could say, oh, well, it's hitting the bottom of this channel. I expect to bounce back up. Possible, but man, show me the liquidity, you know? We're leaning in real time how Bitcoin performs during a recession. Yeah. Market cleaning, bottom liquidity, Bitcoin will pant once government opens. Everyone keeps saying that. It's the narrative. I don't listen to the narrative. The masses are telling you Bitcoin will bounce when the, you know, that's their story to get you to, I believe, to buy in. I don't know what's going to happen. You're so much better off saying you have no idea. I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance, right? Because if you go on crypto Twitter, you know, crypto X Twitter, X or X crypto, however we should say it now, but it's still called CT. Look, shoulder, head, shoulder there. You see that? Descending triangle. You can see it. Like it's a descending triangle. It's not an ascending triangle. It's, you know, candles hit the flat bottom and you ascend down. So the meltdown is real here. Now I feel like I'm chasing, but I know I wanted to get in. It's like, dang. Anyway. And we lost the 200 moving average on the 15-minute, which is also a go-to signal of mine to enter a short. So you could see there was short money just like long money. If you flip it upside down, it's exactly how we trade. That's actually a nice little bull flag right there. And you're kind of riding the 21 and the 200. To me, it's a little tight, but it's basically the model. It's right before the model. It's the closest thing to the model. And then what a dump down there for BTC, right? So I see more downside for Bitcoin on the day. I really do. And look, my signal too, you lost the 1 minute 200 moving average last night right there at 106.4. You came back, it went sideways. We had the model, but we never got the play. We made a shoulder, head, right shoulder. Look at this. I mean, you could, Bitcoin told you it telegraphed the move. Isn't that crazy? It showed you a head and shoulder pattern on the 1 minute. It showed you a head and shoulder pattern on the 1 hour. Like, it screams what's going to happen. You could claim you don't know, or you could trade against it all you want. And then look, it even retested the 200 moving average. Just like we use that as the bounce. We do that all the time. And look, and then it made a bullish flag. Kind of like more like an ascending triangle, right? A symmetrical triangles do what? They break to the downside most of the time. What did this one do? It broke to the downside. Where was the measured move? The length of the base. The base went right there. And there you have the move to the downside for BTC. So you could see technical analysis playing out. Below moving averages. Turning it, shoulder, head, and shouldering. Like, you constantly have these peaks with these right shoulders on the side. Over and over again. Look, we made an inverted and it couldn't make, it rolled over. Bear patterns rolling over, bullish patterns everywhere. Bitcoin's telegraphing the move to you. So I believe it's a zoom out period. And there's a chance we bounce, but once you get this candle closed below the 200 moving average on the 1 hour time frame, that is a bearish sign for me. That would have me looking for 1 minute, 3 minute bear flags, descending triangles. And so now you can see here clearly that bounce was 103.8. That's going to be a major resistance area. You're going to have to get back above that. And then here too, you raise this to here. So you look at the local areas of the 1 minute, resistance, 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 bounce. That's now resistance too. And so now you're kind of looking to see if Bitcoin's going to make a bear flag or attempted inverted head and shoulder. This is the smaller time frames. You don't have to be right. You see what I'm saying? Just kind of have to let it do its thing. And if you see a bear flag, you don't even have to trade the bear flag on the one because they might go up and down. But in general, you could zoom out and trade I trade bigger time frames. So like I use a smaller time frame to give me more confirmation of the technical analysis, right? It's all about watching price action. Here we do it every single day. I'm showing you how I think through price action instead of just like pre-recording a video, and which I could do almost any day, and saying, hey, this is it. It's a lot better to show you how I have to come up with my thesis, right? Because who knows? In the mind of a trader, this is a YouTube channel that shows you the mind of a trader. And I wait for certain times to get in or get out, depending on the trade, right? Like if you know me now, I'm waiting for the 5 second to get above the 200 moving average. I know that's the first thing that can happen for us to get out of this mess. If that happens, then maybe the 30 second does it. And if that happens, then we can talk about the 1 minute. Until then, we're bearish as all, the day is full bear. We know how this works. And lately, I wouldn't be surprised if they rip this thing all the way back up, V-shaped recovery, back to 104. But right now, I'm seeing red like a bull. It's interesting, red see bull, but I'm seeing red like a bear. I'm seeing red like a bear. It doesn't make any sense, then. Be quiet. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Sam, can you please text Zan? Anoma. Okay, yeah. Can you please check Cardano? For sure. Thanks for the diamond to the downside on the 15-minute in the group last night. Up 400 on my short. God bless you, man. Shout out to Ty V. Anderson. God bless you. Can you check Velodrome and AERO? God is great. Wow, we got a double whammy. So we got a bunch of super chats coming in. Let's take a look at those as we see Bitcoin making a bit of a bear flag here. That looks to me like it's going to roll over somewhere down 102,800 for BTC. So the first thing I'm going to take a look at is Velodrome. And look, I looked at OVPP. I think someone brought it up on the stream. I went over it. I saw that it could break out. It did go up 37% on a wick. I think a little more, like 41%. And it's still hugging gains of very little now, of like 7 or 8. But it did make a move out of the inverted head and shoulder to the upside. Look how that pattern plays out. It's so interesting. Let's take a look at Velodrome. And I'll just look at the USD pairs on Coinbase. Wow, Velo had a beautiful double bottom. Went from 3 cents and 1/10 of a cent all the way to 5. That's awesome. That's 31 to 53. Basically, it's 3 cents to 5 cents, but it's like, you could look at it like 31 cents to 5 cents if you just want to see kind of what that percentage was. Still at the bottom of its barrel. isn't as strong as AERO. I picked AERO, not VELO, for whatever reason. They do bounce off each other. What's the difference? What goes on? Honestly, I have to deep dive why. You know, I know what Velodrome does, Aerodrome does. But is Velodrome just like the same thing, just a smaller version of it? Let's just take a look here. And I should know, but you know what? I love this. You know, ask a question, be ignorant for a moment, be quiet, be ignorant for a lifetime, right? They say, or Confucius says, ask a question, be a fool for an instance, be quiet, you know, be a fool for your life, right? It's like admitting that you don't know something is the greatest way to continue to gain knowledge. If you know it all, then why do you need to know anything, right? So it's a name designed to central trading, liquidity marketplace, and optimism network. And the next evolution of Solidity and model by Andrew Condrey. Velodrome emerges as a pioneering automated market maker blending the strengths of Curve, Convex, and Uniswap. It serves as a liquidity hub for Superchain, a role that positions it as a forefront of decentralized finance. Its unique approach involves NFTs that vote on token emissions. Operating on Optimism Network, Velodrome represents the next step in evolution. Yeah, I go, okay. After, I'm just, yeah. AERO is strong at 119 right now. AERO is the next generation, served as Base's central liquidity hub. See, AERO's on Base. VELO's on Optimism, combining a powerful liquidity incentive engine. To me, that's a big difference. Base, right, is Coinbase, man. And Coinbase not going to lose. And they have a lot of money funding them too as well. So I just don't see something big happening there, you know? And that's why I'm an Aerodrome guy, not a Velodrome guy. Anyway, let's get back into VELO. So VELO on Optimism, they're both automated market makers. But VELO on a chain, not as well known, not as well financially backed as well, right? I mean, let's just be honest. Coinbase is the king daddy of daddies. So on the 3-day chart, you're not looking amazing. You're kind of ranging. Like you spiked up nicely here, and you may have some continuation. Let's go smaller down. 2-day, let's go to the daily. The daily did hit the 200 moving average. That's your first sign after you bottomed out at least. And you kind of ranged, you know, you had this distribution at the bottom. You kind of called the bottom there. And then you bounced up pretty strong. You still got to look at the 8-hour, the 4-hour. Back above the 200 moving average in the 4-hour. So if you're bullish on this, just like I talk about, I'd have to just flag it out. But it does seem, wow, look at this. Like, all coins are just getting a little friskier than they used to be. Even today, like, Bitcoin's kind of down. But look, this is pretty strong on the 4-hour time frame. And to me, it looks like it's making this like parabolic kind of move up. I would look for it to flag out here on the 4-hour, not give it all back so fast. If it makes a head and shoulder, it could be sketchy, right? So just watch it. But if it can consolidate and pull the 21, that's what I look for. That's how I place it. And that looks pretty nice. Let's take a look at Aerodrome Finance, which is the stronger of the two. It's in a giant cup and handle. We talked about it in the group. Went over an entry somewhere at about 85, 88, and now we're plowing through. We did hit a high of 129. So in a market like this, 88 to 129 is dang near like, you know, it's over 50%, right? Because $40 on 80 is 50%. So like, that's a nice move. Now we're struggling now because Bitcoin's struggling, and if Bitcoin takes a tumble, it's going to affect every coin yet again. However, these coins look a little stronger than they did before. And with Bitcoin's massive, you know, kind of bearishness and dumping, you still have some strength here on the altcoins. So it tells me Bitcoin could maybe flop around and go sideways, and altcoins may still continue to do their thing here. Again, same scenario. We got to watch the 4-hour time frame. So it could make a shoulder, head, right shoulder, and slump right back to the downside. Shout out to Ty V. Anderson. Thank you for thanking me for the diamond last night. God bless you, man. It did look a little bearish there. I can't stand giving bearish news, but it didn't look amazing. And Bitcoin just continuing to tumble to the downside. Look at this thing just getting absolutely shredded. Attempting a bullish divvy, but I told you it doesn't look amazing. And it's melting on the daily now. That 22-hour bear flag, that daily bear flag is looking very likely. I'm a little tight because as I did the weekly update, if I was alone and I didn't have a channel, I know, whatever. People don't believe me, but I would have been in the short already. Dang, and once you miss an entry in the way I trade, it's just like, because my position has to be big, and if it's not perfect, then why? It's like, so now I'm going to chase a small entry, or know that I'm not positioning myself in the optimal place where I knew to get in. But hopefully you got in, right? And I could have set it up earlier and had it all running. It just is what it is. But dang, man, that's money right there on the table that I know I had high probabilities of having to come. Looks like it's going to go further down, though, to 102,800 for Bitcoin. We're going to take a look at XAN, X-A-N. And remember, if Bitcoin tumbles, everything we just talked about, any bullishness, to me, you're just going to get a continuation down. Wow, this thing looks like it just got milked by VCs and dumped to the downside. Remember when people asked me about it, I said I wouldn't touch that thing? Said it looked sketchy, I don't know. Said I'd put an alert, see if it could flag out. That flag just, no. I would stay away from this thing. It looks like an inside job that just got completely demoralized. Yeah. Me talking about it even makes me look, I just know. You could say it double bottomed here, but it needs a healthy market. It's a new coin. New coins need a healthy market. Coins that come out that are new in a bearish market just get dumped by the VCs, and there's no one to buy in. There's no hype. There's no tweet. There's no catalyst. And this is what happens. They get just, the vesting, whoever gets early. See how the vesting works is they go up to people and they say, hey, the coin's going to come out at 0, let's just say 2. We're going to give it to you at 0.02. And whatever, if you buy some, we'll also double what you buy. If you support the, blah, blah, blah. And they make these deals. They ask certain people to say certain things at certain times. And they get extra. But at the end of the day, and then they say, but you can only sell it, you can only sell 20% every 2 months or something like that. And you have a year to sell. And what happens is, so the coin does a 10x. So someone, like say someone puts 10 grand in, and the coin does a 10x, right? So realistically, they have 100 grand. But they can only sell 20%. So they sell 20 and they get 20 grand. They get their 10 and they double up and they move on. And usually the coin tanks and the rest of their allocation turns to 0. Like I'd say 90% of the time. If the market's awesome and you get in at the right time. Again, I've said no to any of this stuff. I think it's, you know what I mean? It hurts communities. It's vicious. This is kind of the problem with crypto. But just, this is what I see with this. And I could be wrong, but this is what ANOMA looks like to me. And I could be wrong. But I'm just giving you some behind the scenes data. And I could be wrong. I don't want to this is just my imagination. I'm not, I'm just coming up with stuff in my mind. All right. I've been trading for over 10 to 11 months, topped by the only person that is Sam himself. I've made thousands trading the past couple months. And as we speak, I'm up 2,500 on a short. Take advantage of the sale. Love you, bro. Thank you so much, Zab, man. God bless you. Thank you so much for this beautiful super chat. Making $2,500 in the morning on a short. Top student in the game. And thank you so much for the $19.99. You didn't have to give, but you did. That will come back to you tenfold. Shout out to Zab. Check out Zab. XRP, ZK Sync, please. Thank you, Kurt. Let's take a look at XRP and ZK Sync for you. All right. And he's saying take advantage of the sale. That's at Crypto Lifer, and not at CryptoLifer.com, though. What we want you to do is we want you to go to my video. We want you to go to my video, okay? And below in the description of the video is going to be a link to 24-hour discount on my Black Friday sale. Click on that, fill that out. That'll give you access to the Black Friday sale. I'll show you where that link is right away just so you can see, because I'm like a visual learner. I like everything to be visual. It's right here at the bottom it's right here at the top, right there. Click that link. It'll bring you to this I'm like, I didn't sleep last night, but it'll give you this page and you'll be able to fill out this form. Form is the word I'm looking for there. Yeah. I know I can speak, I swear. Check it out today. Go to that link in the description of the video to find out more. Okay, so Bitcoin. To me, looks like it's making another bear flag for a rollover down to 102,797. I can never just chase immediately. And there you have, this thing is rolling over. And looks like it's going further to the downside. That's just what I see for Bitcoin. Can the bot get out? It's back to break even again. The bot's struggling. I'm thinking of maybe, for once coming over onto that bot and taking it out. I may do that. It may be time for it to reset itself. I don't know, though. Watch, I'll do that, and then I'll give it its first loss, and it's like, stupid human, don't touch me, you know? Look, that looks like Head and Shoulder to me. Look, see the Head and Shoulders everywhere? This is the 333 time frame. Look at that. I mean, that's a perfect Head and Shoulder. And look at this Head and Shoulder, like it's just everywhere. Head and Shoulder, like it's just like, it's funny, right? It can almost look like this is like a Head and Shoulder. Anyway, it looks bearish all around to me for BTC. That's just kind of what it looks like. This is the US dollar. Price will be slightly different. Don't stress. But yeah, let's go to that 12 of the 22. Again, looking like they're in a bear flag with high stochastics. That's me talking in the background. I'll get rid of that right here. I found it. So yeah, you could see that's a bear flag. Clear as day. And that's more downside for me for BTC. That will take some time. May not happen overnight. And proper risk management should be assessed. But that looks, we may come up, make the right shoulder one more time. Suck in some longs, and then it's on the way, right? But that says 91,000 is the next target for BTC. You made a Head and Shoulder. You came back to retest the neckline. I've seen this many times. You're below. You have a death cross coming on the daily. And, you know, you've come back to retest. Just like when you bullishly retest the area to the upside, you're trading an SR flip here. You're trading the 21-day moving average. Like, this is a beautiful place. Again, that 104 entry was the key. And that was the move to the downside. So this looks like you're going to roll over. The daily would curve right here and roll over. And again, if they whip it back up, so be it. You'll get stopped out somewhere here. And if we cross the 200 moving average on the daily, we can go back into a long and take the short and take the shorts for a run. So to me, I think it's a great place to risk. But you do whatever makes you happy. You do whatever makes you happy, right? And I don't love shorting BTC. It's not my favorite thing to do. But I do what the markets tell me to do based on what the charts say. Is there some bullishness? Is there a way out? Oh yeah, Uni had a crazy move. They came out saying they were going to burn, they were going to commit to something, and it was quite interesting to see that. You know, to see Uni come out of nowhere and jump on in. I mean, it's looking like an $86,000 BTC could be coming here. Imagine that too. Imagine being able to scoop Solana below $100 again. Imagine being able to get into these prices nice at beautiful places. I mean, this would be amazing, right? So when I'm looking at the short, I'm looking to put a stop above the wick right there in the 21, and I'm looking to go. It's 2.69 risk reward ratio to 91,688. You know, could extend to 86,958. We may very well go into that low area. So I scan crypto Twitter at night, and I see so many people that are overly bullish telling you that if you think this is the end of rally, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what's going to happen. I'll be honest. I just trade 21-day moving average flags below the 200. Like, I don't know if we're going to dump for sure. I would love it if we did it long term. You know what I mean? My long-term spot bags outweigh all this insanity. So, but from what I see right now, it just looks likely like we're going to get ourselves a move down, you know, and I could be completely wrong here, but that's what looks likely to me. And Bitcoin doesn't look, you know, that's going to close bearish engulfing. Maybe tomorrow we get a move back up. You never know. There is some support now for sure at about 101,090. And then BOOKMAP, which is like 90% accurate, is just screaming red again to the downside. It's just screaming for 98. And then we even have an $85,000 area. Let me get the likes up to the watchers. I would greatly appreciate that. Hit the like button. Thank you so much. Hitting the like button helps you, because if you're in a bag or you want people to know about cryptocurrency and you hit that like button, this circulates this around the internet, around the world. More people will know about cryptocurrency, more about your bags, more about what you're into. And if people are more into what you're into, the volume increases, doesn't it? So if you hit that like button, you may increase the volume. You may help the world find more about what you're into. So it helps you as much as it helps me. It's a worldly move to hit that like button. It shows you're connected to the whole world. Your energy is aligned, and you kind of understand where you're doing. Also, you're putting full energy into the stream. Might as well put the extra step into that like button. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you for giving memberships. You didn't have to do that, but you did. May God bless you for doing so. Tuesday's gone. Tuesday's gone away. 103,533 for Bitcoin. On spot here on Bitcoin, on Binance. On Binance. So yeah, bear flag forming for BTC last night was awesome. It made a flag. It looked like we could get out of it. If the 1 hour had boosted out of the flag and not rolled over today, we would have been bullish, but it did not. It gave us a bearish signal. Okay? It gave us a bearish signal. It is what it is, right? We can't force that. You can't force it. So there we have it. So yeah, it looks to me like a rollover. 4 hour looks a little bearish too to me. You could say the 4 hour is hugging a higher low right at support. Let's take a look at the 4 hour. So here's your hopium for the bulls is right here. See this? You have resistance. You're bouncing right there. What if you got to bounce back up? And what if you can close the day back above the 1 hour 200 moving average? So to me, today is all about the 1 hour 200. You close below it, more downside. You hug it and stay above it, we may be pumping back up here to 106 and go after these shorts. Again, I see treachery. Another reason to kind of keep the short small until right now I would be basically honing in to try to get back. You know, the perfect time was to get into that right shoulder on the short. Because you're in control now, even if they pump it back up, you can kind of. But for me, I'm waiting. I want to see how they play with the 200 moving average here. Get a candle close down in here. They are pretty oversold, though. It's like you dumped all night. Just one thing to think about. You dumped all night, so yeah. You might get a bounce here sooner than later. $50 super chat. Thank you for what you do, Sam. Thank you so much. You didn't have to give, and you then gave people memberships, man. God bless you. It's so nice of you. I'll continue to show up every single day for that amount of appreciation. That's amazing. 8184, get in for Yudi. Will Farcoin have a comeback with 30? I don't know. Guys, can anyone send me the entry point to make a sell limit, please? When gonna call back his million? Yeah, you should have hit the like as soon as you turned on the stream. Thank you for saying that. So here it is. I mean, this is where soldiers are made. The 1 hour candle just closed below the 200 moving average. It is 11 on the dot. And we got a candle close below. Will we tweezer? Watch for this 1 hour to tweezer bottom here. And see if it can power back above the 200. If it cannot, you're going to be watching like the 1 or the 5 for a bear flag. So I'd already just kind of start positioning myself for a possible bear flag here. And probably a smart idea just to enter the long-term short no matter what. Because even if it does bounce to the top of the channel back to 107, but that would just be such a better place to enter. 106.5. Almost looks like, oh man, it just... Bitcoin, man, looks like it's collapsing pretty nicely here to the downside. Look at this. That's another bear flag like we talked about, right? One hour's not looking amazing. Attempting some type of look shoulder, head, right shoulder in a way, but... And that would be to me, the length of the pole there. It's even deeper. Now you're going back to 102. Careful, they may right shoulder this puppy back up on the 1 minute. I'm watching that right now. I'm kind of like, just feeling out price action. And then you can see what's your local resistance. Well, now you got to get back above 103.6. So like once you lose areas of the 1 minute, those become set in stone for the day. And like you can clearly see, listen, resistance, like you got to get back above 104.640. That's going to be a key area too as well. You can't get back above that. you're going to remain to the downside. So that's, and now you're looking more like a symmetrical triangle. They mainly break to the downside too as well. Again, if I was intraday trading, good time to take money on a short and probably call it a day and walk away. All right. If I made that perfect entry as I was doing the weekly right before that thing took a fall, watch out. They may reverse this puppy on the 1 minute. See how it's doing its thing? And how you can figure that out is that the 5 second breaks above the 200. If that's happening, you got to pay attention. Now you have to see if the 30 second will break above the 200. Could be a nice little short squeeze here. Even just a local one. If not, it rolls over. Then we're done. We're probably cooking. Small time frames can give you confirmation. All right? They could drive you crazy too. You have to know how to use them. You have to know how to use them. If you're like, I'm zooming out on the daily, like I've already seen that bear flag. So if you're just looking at this only and you're trading everything on it, like that's a different story. I forgot about the lemon water. We got so into everything. Put the lemon into the water, folks. Let's decalcify that pineal. Get ourselves on another level, a higher frequency. Yeah, so looking for this tightness, that's bearish to me. Is it Black Tuesday, as has been told by the wind? We'll see what happens. The wind prophecies. The bear wind prophecies. But that definitely looks bearish to me for Sheezies, right? Man, anyway. So, yeah, that looks like we're going further to the downside. I don't like what I'm seeing there for BTC. And I believe people are loading up in alts a little too early. I'm still keeping a lot of cash on the sidelines, looking for this market to give better positioning. Either get back above the daily 200 moving average and give me some, a better solid entry, or no. Let's take a look at that fear and greed back at 26. Let's bring it to 15. We go to 86 to 91,000. I mean, that's going to bring us down into this area. And we might even touch 10 again. And if we hit 10, I've never not been rewarded for buying that. So we're getting closer and closer to the best prices for Bitcoin, which should excite you. If you're a long-term collector of BTC, we're getting into the better hedged area of where Bitcoin is in less, in the discount. And I like to buy Bitcoin on the discount. I don't like to buy it on the premium. All right? Very important. It's more affordable on the discount than it is at the premium, right? So important that we get down, that I get down into these areas. I'm not a financial advisor. You do whatever makes you happy. But this is where I would be looking for me, personally, in my reality TV show of my life here that I do every single day. This is a reality show of a trader's life. I'm showing you my life. Every single day, what I do with the charts, my wins, my losses, when I go at it. And this has just been an amazing journey, right? So we're seeing this sideways price action, bear flag on the 1 minute. 1 hour doesn't look good to me at all. You got a little bit of hopium possibly here in the 30-second chart, but it's not amazing. Not at all. Bot looks, And so let's take a look at BTC USDT here on even just KuCoin. I mean, you're attempting that inverted head and shoulder, but to me, it's more of a symmetrical about to go down, right? Yeah, that bear flag looks like it's about to drop and roll over, folks. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they wicked and do a diabolical move up. You know what? So be it. I trade the 21 when it touches a flag on the other side of the 200. So I trade this. If I lose trading it, so be it. That's my model. I do this, so that's my model on the other side. It tells me it is what it is. The entry was way better just a half an hour ago when we first discussed this. Still a 2 to 4, to get to 3, I'd have to go to about 90K, which to me looks very likely. I don't see how we couldn't do that. So that's the trade right there. Stop above my 107,451. Remember, we gave this short here, boom, and then there's this, it's like 1, sell, get in, sell, right? And you had to wait days, right, for the next perfect entry. That's why, it's not about trading every single day. It's about trading the right times and the right days, the right entries, right positioning. This is key right now. I like what I'm seeing right there for BTC. I see there's no reason not to take that head short. We have closed below the 200 moving average now. On the 1 hour, everything is bearish for me, right? If they rip it back up, they rip it back up, so be it. So I'm going to put my money where my mouth is here on weeks. And that looks like a tumbleina to the downside, right? I knew that entry was way better. That's the problem being a live streamer and a trader. Sometimes some things get in the way. It just is what it is. So take profit down to 83,749. I don't know if I'll go all the way there, but that's that's what the measured move says. Stop loss is going to be at like 107. Or is that 108,268? Yeah. 108,113. I'm just using what it tells me, you see? And it's got to be a big boy. Like, we're going to go like $4,000 for 15,000 there. And so there we go, man. Let the good times roll here. Let's make some gains. Oh, give me my limit. Hold on. Exceeded minimum. What? Hold on. I got to do it again. Dude, I just lost good pricing too. Always remain calm when trading. I'll always switch it. Always remain calm in trading. Price came back for me there. I'll have to hold this for a while. It's even better to give me a better price, right? There you go, man. I live by the model. 21 above the 200 or on the other side of the 200. So there you go. And there we have it for BTC. Let's see what happens to that trade in the long term. It's a $83,000 trade. 4,000 in at 20x levy. Not huge, not the biggest, not the smallest. I may add to on a different, and I'll add to maybe possibly on another exchange if I see price action move up or down. And I can also hedge it on another exchange depending on how I feel about the market, right? So yeah, Bitcoin looking more bearish to me. I pulled the trigger on the bear flag. I'm not going to wait any longer, and it could take 2 more days for it to really play out. It could put us in limbo, go up and down. There could be some drawdown. You never know. So, shout out to all the beautiful people here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. If Bitcoin gets back above that 200 moving average on the 1 hour, we may get a tweezer bottom back to the upside. You never know. We do have a bit of a bounce there on that key area, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay, I wanted to talk about kind of trading in general and along, real fast for a few minutes. If you trade for 2 years, you're going to think that every week matters. And every time you have a losing week or a losing month, you're going to get really down and call yourself a losing trader. Okay, it's going to happen a lot. But say if you trade for, let's just say 4 years, okay, you might have 2 years that are amazing. You might have 6 months that don't go so well for you. My point is, the longer you begin to trade, the more you realize there's no way you're going to be profitable every single month of your life or every single week of your life. But what you're going to realize is there are going to be some months that are just so profitable that they outweigh the other ones. This is the key. But this takes time, and you got to sit in the market for long periods of time too as well. It's not something that happens overnight. This takes a long time to understand. So, but the beginning trader will beat themselves up so bad. Also, lack of capital, not having a long-term plan. This can, adjust psyche. But once you've made it your 10 years, you should have made some money to stay in the game. You should believe in your trading style. You should have trading streaks. Like, you may not be perfect, but there's be, man, when I went 22 straight, remember when I went 2 for, I only lost 2 out of 11. Remember when I did, and you have your talent. You're like, I could dig out of any hole. I could stay disciplined. I have my skill. I just need to stay positive in my mind and use that skill to get somewhere. And you could do this if you put your mind to it, right? And that's the key. The key is keeping your mind clear and keeping your mind positive. That's the most important part of trading. If your mind goes sour, you go sour. It's just strange. But if your mind is on point and clear, right? You're on point and clear. Things will make sense to you. And like right now, there's no emotions. Bear flag to the downside. We get stopped out. We learn our lesson. We go from there. We don't. We make money. We pat ourselves on the back for the good probability. We go from there. Whether you win, you're not a genius. Whether you lose, you're not a loser. You're taking probabilities. Sometimes you read the probability wrong, or maybe sometimes it didn't go the way you thought it would go. For me, below the 21 in a flag usually plays to the downside. Like this right here. We're kind of somewhere right here. We've gotten below the 200. We're in a flag. We took the dump. Now, there could definitely be a beautiful, and look, I'm also looking for the bullish divergence here. I'm looking for that RSI to drop, come on up. And honestly, there may be like, it might go down. It might be right there when we get the bull div off 85, right? So like, I'm not seeing it yet. And I know that's usually going to be the bottom of a dump. Like right there was the bullish div. We even went lower right there. See? We're kind of like here. Like we're not, in my humble opinion, I haven't seen the structure of a bottom just yet. It definitely looks like there's some more downside coming. So the daily, let's talk about why it's hard to make a lot of money in trading. All right. Here's another reason why it's hard to make a lot of money in trading. People know to make a good amount of money. Let's talk about it. 5, 10, 15 grand's a good amount of money. All right. Let's be honest. Like that's, for most people, that's a good, I could pay the rent for a few months. Like that can change your life, right? It can help you focus on something other than your life. And then you could put maybe more time into trading. The key is today was an awesome video by Jim Rohn that I shared in the trading group. And what he talked about and discussed was he went over the fact that the transition from your life into a new job or from your regular job into doing something different with your life, right? Look, they're bouncing it now. It could get above the 200 and pump now. You never know, and I could be wrong. That's the problem with being a public trader. Any day, I could get my pants handed to me in front of the world. 15-minute is pretty oversold. Probably not the best time to enter. But I'm looking for this to bear flag. I'm just looking to get in on the bigger time frame. I'll check back on that trade, I don't stare at the daily trades. Okay, let me get back to the idea. So why is it hard to make a lot of money in trading? Because I see traders do really well. Like they'll make $2,000 on a short or this and that, right? Like this morning short kind of played out, right? You could have sold it by now, loss of the 200 moving average, right? Now we are away from the 21. My own rules there. That's why I'm not as in tune shorting as I am with longing, but I see the momentum to the downside. Anyway, so the key is to make big money, you'd have to put a good amount of money or use pretty high leverage on this small time frame. We all know if it doesn't work out a few times, you can get hurt a lot. So then, how do you really make it? Well, then you use bigger time frames to make bigger money. The problem is, it takes a lot longer than people realize. Like someone might get into this bear flag here, might not have got stopped out, might be waiting. It may play out in 3 weeks, the daily. But, because after 6 days, there's no payout, people start to get weary and they leave the trades, they move the stop loss, they get kind of crazy. So the daily is hard for new people to trade because they don't realize how long you have to hold the trade. They think they think they can handle it too. They look at it, even when they do know it's long, they go, okay, yeah, it takes about 5 or 6 days. I've talked to my mentor. But 2 days later, 3 days later, they're staring at the charts all the time. They're at work. They're walking around. They can't seem to let the trade be. This is a trade of being a beginner trader. It'll take you time to put out trades and just leave them alone. That is something that you'll deal with. It'll mess with you. It will. So You'll get in streaks sometimes where you can't seem to win. You don't know why. It'll go against your strategy, or every time you get into something, it'll bounce the other way. It'll drive you mad. That's when you got to take a move, take a walk into nature, take a deep breath and realize you're a human being. You make mistakes. You're not going to be perfect. I could be wrong right now. This could get back above the 200 and make a beautiful move back above there and just absolutely wreck the shorts right now. The late ones too, right? Like, short squeeze to the upside. It could happen. You see, I have to live with it. So that's why I always say too, never do anything you see anyone do on YouTube. You must have a plan of your own. You must have your own idea of why you're taking a trade. And that means you must get the education. And education is the best thing you could do. Invest in yourself. Everyone always says, where to put money? How do I invest? Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but I will tell you I invested in myself, and I'm still reaping the rewards of that return. So invest in yourself and reap those rewards. You'd be surprised, like the money you put into yourself, you probably you'll have for the rest of your life. Investments come and go, right? Things go up and down. But you're in control of you. And if you invest in you, I mean, who knows? Like, the sky's the limit. Jim Rohn today talked about that transition. If you have a job into starting a business on the side or doing something that you love. And he talked about the importance of getting on the, look, this thing looks like it could rip now. Now I'm on a scalp it, right? Let's see here if I can get another window open. Dang, the thing's bouncing nicely. And this could tweezer bottom now, too. Back above the 200, which is, to me, a bullish sign. It's like, dang, I'm caught in between now. The daily looks bearish. The 1 hour could flip. What do you do in this situation? I don't know. Sometimes I hedge long. Like, you go schlong. That way you break even. You can't really tell what's going to happen. You could go schlong. It might go either way. Looks like it could be bouncing back to the upside right now as we speak. I mean, my signal is bullish when you get back above the 1 hour 200 moving average. This market's been sketchy either way, in my humble opinion. Look, a bit of a double bottom on that 3-minute time frame. You see that? I don't like the daily. I'm going to remain bearish. I don't like the way the daily's looking. I'm just going to remain unemotional and hold the trade for the next 10 to 12 hours and deal with the consequences. Pretty simple. Yeah. Power of the schlong, baby. Bipolar. Yeah, exactly. Weekly bounce plunge. It's going to rip every short and then dump. It's possible. Is it a fake out Tuesday? Yeah. No. That would be false move Tuesday. No. I mean, yeah, we've been having that recently. I mean, 3-minute looks like it's kind of sketchy. Double bottom there. Look at that. Boink, boink. 15-minute loss to 200, which is bearish. You got a bullish divvy there on the 15 on the indicator. 1 minute attempting to bounce back above the 200 moving average. That could rip up pretty fast. I mean, that was a fast move down, too. Look at that. Blam on the 1 hour. Been dumping price action all day, all night long. Since that spike at about 8 p.m. last night, and then just brah. I mean, the 4 hour still says it's going to roll over. Had a double top, and it, moving average is coming close together. High, low, lower, high. I don't know. It looks bearish to me. The 4 hour in the daily on don't look good to me. So, who knows? Only time will tell. Let's take a look at Total 3, the entire market cap of all these altcoins, just to see kind of what they're doing. They're back above the daily 200 moving average, which is okay, and they're outside of the trend line. As long as they can stay outside this trend line, we can get a move here. And so, like, what you need is, a desperate bounce. Almost says like Bitcoin would have to bounce for this to happen, right? Altcoins have to bounce and consolidate here. Otherwise, roll over. And that shoulder, head, right shoulder, you're cooked, right? So that doesn't look amazing for me for BTC, right? Let's take a look at the S&P futures and the Dow Jones just to see what's happening. I talked about this getting a bounce yesterday, and I said, I see a bounce. Look, now it is above the 200 there on the 1 hour. And that, you said that would probably spike back up here to 69. They're going to print this money. I see the Dow going sideways. I called out a bounce on the macro technical analysis video. I said next week we should be somewhere right here. When I do the video Friday, it's going to be Friday on the 28th. Is that? No. Whoa. What's going on over there? Friday on the 14th. Friday the 14th. Wow, almost the 13th again. Friday the 14th. And I see us just going sideways, making this flag. I called the bounce of the S&P. We got it absolutely beautifully. Man. And now we're getting a beautiful bounce here to the upside. Getting back above the 200 here. They got me kind of shaking in my bones on the short. Palantir also getting back to the upside, which that bigger trade never really got stopped out on the bigger idea here. That 1,000 for 3,000. A lot of people shorted Palantir, but they're going to inject tons of money into this market. Even, that's what Trump was saying. Big money's coming into the market. Maybe, there's a chance we get a bounce here. Wow, this is crazy. I'm watching price action on MEXC. Possibly make that hedge long. I'd basically break even if they short squeeze us. Once they swung it and then swung it and they got me out both ways, that would be crazy, which could happen. That's why it's also a high risk to me. I already have one risk. Why go double on the risk? This is tough. I'll be honest. This is very tough. They're testing my will publicly. Testing my will publicly for sure. Seeing if I get emotional, shaking my bones. And I just got to remain with the first idea and stay true. Important. Let's take a look if there's anything sliding through the cracks today. AERO getting a nice move. And we talked about the AERO trade at 89, right? Uni jumps on fee switch proposal. It's a pretty big deal. We should talk about that. But Uni rose nearly 38% after Unilabs and Uniswap Foundation proposed activity and long-debated fee switch would divert a portion of the protocol trading fees towards token burns and holder incentives. The proposal includes burning around 1 billion Uni, 60% of the supply, establishing a token jar mechanism for Uni burns and merging convergent structures to align protocol more closely with token holders. That is a bullish sign when you care about your token holders. I like it. In the last hour, Conflux up 38%. CFX just taking the whole market by storm there really soon. World Liberty Finance getting a little bit of a move there, saying it will go to $100 a coin. Eric Trump talking. Virtual Protocol back at 138. Pi, Morpho, all coins kind of still sitting near. Took a pullback there from that 312 area back to 270. Ondo back to 67. And, all coins just still sitting pretty, waiting for that time. Starknet had a little bit of love. In the last 7 days, it's up 55%. I saw it trending on Twitter this morning. Render up 25% as well for the week. Graph all still holding some gains. Let's see what the biggest gainer of the week is right now that we can see. And that's going to be Soon. And we put out Soon to you. We were all over Soon in the trading group. One of the few coins that we looked at a lot when the market wasn't too well. I said, man, Soon still looks pretty good comparatively. AERO, Soon, Near, coins that I put out and talk about a lot. Render, all kind of on the forefront of the gains. Aster still holding 108 too. Let's take a look at Aster and Cake. I think it's important to take a look at those after the NASDAQ E-mini futures. So the same thing here with the E-mini futures. I see a bounce here for the NASDAQ. It may roll over right now. I don't know. That's head and shouldery. I have to be honest. I'm expecting more of a better bounce up and then more consolidation. Might be a little more like this. Might be a little sharper to the downside. NASDAQ looks a little more bearish than the S&P. I have to be honest right now. S&P looks more lateral. NASDAQ looks Bitcoin back to 103,450, collapsing below that 200. And that would, I would not be surprised if I make a boatload on this short. But we will see what happens. Only time will tell, right? Again, I'm not a genius if I win. I don't talk ish when I win. I don't cry when I lose. It's just another trade in my trading set. Like, you think 500 days from now, I'm going to think about this exact trade. I mean, maybe. You never know how big the trade would be. But it's unlikely that that's going to make or break my life. You know, I love Jim Rohn. He talks about consistency. He talks about doing the right things. He goes to health. Eating a donut, right? If I eat a donut, is that the worst thing? Is that going to make me fat if I eat one donut? No. But if I eat a donut every day for the next 200-300 days, it's going to add up. So it's not what you do today, it's what you do every day that matters. And that's why consistent people are the people that are in the forefront of success. That's why people that have their discipline labeled and know exactly where to drink out of that discipline jar. You know what I mean? Oh, there's my discipline jar. I'm going to go drink right out of it. Start my day with discipline. Today I worked out a very hard workout, covered in sweat. Got to the point where I was sick inside. Didn't know if I could finish. I went out into my pool in 40 degrees and jumped in. Wasn't as cold as I thought. I don't know if the jacuzzi from last night kept it warm. I don't know what was happening. Maybe the sun alone. And there we go with the collapse. I'm in the green on the trade. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. And I don't like seeing Bitcoin collapse, and I don't like seeing these big moves to the downside, personally. You know, I have to kind of look the other way. I was the richest I ever was at 126,000. Every time we hit an all-time high, I was the richest I ever was in my life. How are you going to make me the richest I ever was multiple times this year and then bring me back down? You know what I mean? And that's the reality. You can't fall in love with money if you love cryptocurrency. You got to fall in love with the ride. It's so crazy. And that's why they don't understand us. They're like, why are these crypto people so insane? It's the new money, but they don't care about money. They're rich. They buy Lambos, but they don't care about money. It's like, yes, we don't care. To us, it's a video game. You trapped us in a system. We're just using crypto to beat the system. We're getting out of the system. That's all. We're finding a way out. It's the matrix. You locked us in. We're finding a way to unmatrix ourselves, right? Unlock ourselves, free ourselves from the traps that we've been placed inside. That's what this show's about. That's what the pineal gland, that's what the lemon water, we're breaking out. Okay? We are breaking out. Man, that uni news is a bunch of mumbo jumbo. Yeah, especially right now. Thoughts on quant, somebody says. Eat a donut every day. Follow me for more future pointers, 100%. Cronuts, you're funny. I'm down so many thousands now. I should have paid down my house. Sorry to hear that. Always pay down the house first. Get educated about geopolitics. Somebody said, yeah. Old system is broken. Yeah, honey glazed, preferably, yes, yeah. Bitcoin is king to DCA, but what are your high conviction plays to get into if the market slumps? High conviction plays, really, the only things I would buy long term if the market slumps, personally, BTC, Solana, BNB, Aerodrone, like, you know, things that are connected to big business, things that have utility, things that have shown that they're in the money. And the short is in the money now, not a lot, but like 1%, 40, 50 bucks. But like, I don't see, yeah, you don't want to stress yourself. Like maybe Chainlink, but even that's kind of like, hasn't been a great performer. I used to put Atom in there, but not anymore. It's just been a horrible performer. So yeah, Bitcoin, Sol, BNB, and AERO really are the only things I would really want to hold. Because what happens if they bump up huge, you can always take a portion of those and then flip that into something small when the market looks better. Everyone thinks they have to go all in, but the market, the market will give us signs of healthiness. Right now, I don't see it. I must remain a bear. It just is what it is. So total, like the 4 hour would have to make a flag here and get out. Otherwise, look, it could make a right shoulder and roll over as we showed you. It is below the 200 moving average. We got to get above that. Like, it would be like, I wouldn't long altcoins until we break the 4 hour on total 3. You know what I mean? It's a smart idea because right now, it's not in our favor. I bought my shack at 21 and I'm bringing it with almost 30 years old on her. I made it to a 35-year mortgage with my rips. That's amazing, man. God bless you. Hold everything to your broke or sell and buy back later. 100%. They faked the pump to trap the moon noobs, yeah. I bet my bud to 216, yeah. Have you noticed he avoids XRP all the time? Yeah, I do. I hold a lot of it. I bought it at 16 cents and, 30 cents and 40 cents. I mean, look, it made an inverted head and shoulder move, and then it came right back down. The long term looks interesting on the 3-day and the weekly. It had a bounce. I see the 200 coming up. It does look a little more bullish with the higher low. Looks better than Bitcoin. It's in an uptrend on the 3-day chart, right? I even, called a long there. I would even consider a possible long with a stop below 192. That would take you to 625. It says it would get there, though, by like March of 26. You see this? This is going to take a long time. New moon on 1120, which is a dump usually for Bitcoin, Had a dream last night when I met you and shook your hand. I'm praying that becomes a reality. It will 100%, man. You don't have to pray for that. I mean, you could pray for it for sure. Pray for anything you desire, but that's a simple thing that will happen, bro. Yeah, you're into the group, and you're here. Sam, what's your BTCC link? My BTCC link is at the top of the channel here. And honestly, that's a great question. Right? And if you trade BTCC, we have a cool incentive there for you as well. Right? The more you trade, the more, the more you can get back. 1 million up to 100 USDT, 3 million Apple Watch and more. October 27th to November 30th at BTCC. 10% deposit bonus on your first one, too, as well. And we have a link here in the pinned comment if you want to jump on in. All right? Check it out. Thank you. So getting tighter and tighter on the NQ. Bitcoin slumping at 103,004. It's all about, it's going to be all about that 1 hour 200 moving average today. Let's take a look at Monero, the one coin that really was kind of on a bit of a tear there. Did it hold? No. See, even that went up and right down. It's like this market has been a liquidity grab, in my humble opinion. And it's a swing trade. I swing trade now, long-term hold BTC, and everything else, I just kind of just wait, right? Thank you for your time today. Thank you for your time today. Black Friday dump it over 28 dang. You never know. Jennifer, I took my L's already. Even if Bitcoin bounces, you have to think how we alts get back up and break at the all-time highs. That takes time and many months of bullish price action. In weeks, you'll come back here seeking answers for someone who hasn't studied the markets, is only a chart watcher. Uneducated American. I don't know what he's saying. I don't see how we can get so much bullishness that we can recover on else. What do you think on Ethereum, Sam? Thanks for all your insight and encouragement always. You should have over 17,000 live viewers. Anyone please share the Zen liquidation levels? I mean, the liquidation levels would be on you. Yeah. Like no one knows liquidation levels. That has to do with an actual chart or a coin. Like what are your Zen liquidation levels, right? It's like, most people will get liquidated likely below 1050. That's just kind of the facts. Want to see if Zen could bounce there or make a right shoulder. It is getting oversold and it has some hidden bullish divergence. Assuming Bitcoin is topped out and is done, wouldn't all the liquidity go into alts? That's what usually happens, isn't it? I don't. Yes, when the alts have been moving the whole time, up with Bitcoin. You know what I mean? You see? It does look like Bitcoin may chop around in this area until tomorrow. It does look like we're in some chop. Can we look at BOOKMAP, Samster? Yeah, BOOKMAP still has liquidity to the downside. And if we zoom out and zoom in there, it's still saying 98.5, and then it's even got an $85,000 order there. There is some liquidity up to 117.5 and in this area, but it's just not as thick as it was before. Happened over long as well. Yeah, no stop loss. Yikes. That's what it used to do. Yeah, past performance isn't always future. Yeah, exactly. My level's 11, but I'm looking for the top level so I know when to get out. I'm underwater with an average of 17. Yikes. Someone says Zcash, please, sir. Let's take a look at Zcash. Took a beat down. How much lower will it go? Where are we sitting? What's happening? Well, you want to stick to that 3-day chart. And when you gap away from the 21 in this nature, You're likely coming 90% of the time back to the 618. Fine, maybe 10%. Maybe you'd say about, a little about 10%. You might go sideways and still pump. That's just very rare. That happens when in extreme euphoria. And we kind of already lived through extreme euphoria on this, right? With that tap out. So this could come back down here to 407. You know, the 618 is even, the 786 is even 317, right? God bless. Let's get into the super chats and see what's happening, folks. And thank you. Wow, a lot of super chats in there. We looked at Zan. Can you please look at Cardano, somebody says. Let's look at Cardano, XRP, and ZK Sync. So we did look at XRP. Let's look at Cardano. We'll do a deep dive, long look at Cardano. It's been a long time. Last time I looked at Cardano, I liked it in this channel. Wanted it to hold, though. And I said, but it could barely retest and come all the way back down to 30. Wow, down to 30. Wow, Cardano. So let's look and see what's happening to Cardano here. You have this uptrend. You've got that, that's going to definitely be your resistance there. If that's a resistance, there's like a resistance right here. It's very oversold. But again, you can see, very oversold here, and you just kept going lower, right? Not a lot of action. I mean, it's at a key area where it's bounced many times, almost a quadruple bottom. You see that? 1, 2, 3. And then this falling wedge here to the downside. Could see this thing continue to the upside for sure, right? I mean, I don't see why it couldn't. But, I don't know. I hold it long term. I don't have tons of faith. It is oversold. There's no really hidden bullish div, though. The daily's struggling. And I'm telling you right now, if Bitcoin falls out of this bear flag, which looks likely to me, altcoins are going to continue to dump. You're going to see some lower lows here. It can always get worse. I just want you to understand that. It can always get worse. Remember that. Repeat that. And have that knowledge. It can always get worse. I've been trading for 10 to 11 months. Top of the 1%. God bless you. Thank you for saying that. I just want to go through these super chats. XRP and so ZK Sync. And this guy said he's been trading for 10 to 11 months. Top of the only person, and that is Sam himself. I've made thousands trading the past couple months, and as we speak, up 2,500 on the short. It's actually not over yet. He may make more. You never know. Let's take a look at Uni. Thanks for what you do. Can you do an Advantis? But holding long term, it may be a while until we get back where we are. I buy these lows. Interesting. God bless, brother. Doesn't the 21 on the 8-hour look like a possible area to bounce? Bitcoin is king to DCA, but what are your high conviction plays to get to do with the market? Yeah, we talked about that. Thoughts on Quant. So Bitcoin 8-hour, 21, Quant, Advantis. Thanks for what you do. God bless you, Cardano, and ZK Sync. So let's take a look at ZK Sync. We've been watching ZK Sync kind of throughout the last few days as well. ZK Sync slumping again. I mean, you needed it to bounce off now it's like right there. Again, if Bitcoin, that's a shoulder, head, right shoulder. To me, looks like it could dump pretty fast. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. I would never touch it unless it consolidates inside the flag. If it consolidates in the flag, then it looks likely, but that looks like it's going to take a dump. Might give back everything it made recently. People are like, oh, they wanted to get in. Those same people are fickle now, and they don't believe in the price action. So, to me, it says be wary. And there could be more downside for sure for ZK Sync. I would only touch it if it could consolidate, and that even looks like it could take some time. It is oversold. It's hugging the 200 moving average. It just doesn't look really strong. Let's take a look at Advantis, right? Advantis. Advantis looked good for that weekend. I really haven't touched it ever since. Had a Coinbase button. You'd think it would have done some damage. The fact that it went all the way up there, too. We started looking at it. Man, that flag was perfect, that 108 flag. I gave that move, and that was the last time. I mean, that was it. Slumped down, and now it's really just like, what? Like, no one really talks about it. It doesn't get enough traction. Remember, man, where attention flows, the money goes. Volume is important. Has a bit of an Adam and Eve. It's attempting to double bottom, but it doesn't look amazing to me. I don't believe in things that don't show strength. Like, there's no strength here. And could it go lower? I mean, you never know. It can always, what if Bitcoin really, really takes a beat down here? 17 cents. It looks like it may even go back to the bottoms. I wouldn't touch this. I don't like it. It's not my cup of tea at all. But, God bless you. I hope, whatever your plan is there. I don't like that. Yeah. That thing is cooked. Quant, another interesting coin that we only traded once, like 2 Octobers ago. It's always been sketchy. It goes up and down. And it has a pretty big market cap. It takes a lot to move it. And when it does, it just, I don't know, man. It's got to be hard to hold this coin. It's almost like a stable coin, though, in a way. Look how it just kind of stuck and just kind of went up and down in this range. Looks like it's eventually just going to head back to the top of the range with the, lower high, but it is below the 200 moving average. Again, if Bitcoin slumps, it slumps. It's that same story. Looks a little better than most coins. It's actually somewhat bullish on the 1 hour time frame. I'd keep this flag going. There's a chance that Quant actually breaks out of this flag. Quant actually looks more bullish to me than anything we've seen today, And I'm not even a fan of the asset or even trading it. It just, I see what I'm seeing here for Quant. Bitcoin back above 103.5. I may get a chance just to kind of maybe sit and observe yet again and only scalp. Let's get back into BTC and see what's happening to Bitcoin. 15-minute time frame as well. Still to be building that bear flag. It hasn't, unless it goes on a massive rip to the upside. And look at that 1 hour. That 1 hour's got to get back above the 200 moving average. Looking like it's pretty weak. I'd watch your 15 and your 7-minute for a bear flag here. And if it continues at a bear flag, I would be looking for that thing to continue to go lower. 102.322. You see, those are the key areas that I would be watching pretty closely. And even though it is somewhat oversold there, I don't know. It just, that 21 comes into play. You got a death cross that just happened on the 15. Your last death cross, short-lived. This one's a lot further down and a little more violent. Kind of like where we are here. Came up and then you had a lower low. This one really created, like, you were gone. And to me, it looks like we're in one of these. We're going to bear flag below the 200, and then the odds of a bigger dump are just very large. So I'm sorry to bust your bubble if you're bullish. Sammy the Bear came to play. They call him Sammy the Bear, not Sammy the Bull. So there you have it. And I apologize for giving you the charts the way I see them. I wish I could candy coat, sugarcoat, and sweeten it up. I did put my money where my mouth is. If I lose, I lose. You'll see that I cannot believe in that long or the short. It is what it is. So there you have it. Shout out to anybody here on the stream. God bless you all. God bless everybody here. Anyone collect classic cars here? Or supercars? Anyone? I'm just trying to find, I don't know why. I just like to ask this question. You notice some of these old-time YouTubers started to dress better. Some of the suited ties. Wonder why. Following the man that started it all. Jimmy's boy, leadership. Bitcoin's Elvis. If you know, then you know, man. Hey, man. You know what they do is they see what it means to get paid. Right? Who wants to deal with someone? Dude, I fly to Singapore. I fly to Dubai. I meet CEOs of major companies. I meet billionaires, man. You want to walk into a meeting looking like a scrub with a billionaire? You want to have your shirt untucked with a billionaire? I don't. And again, money's not everything, but today, another thing that I watched, I got a video about appearance. The guy said how important your appearance is, especially as you get older after 40 years old, to make sure you have a good appearance. So the first thing someone sees about you is your appearance. I like these videos on YouTube because they talk to you in a way that, like, if you said it to someone else, they get offended. Or if someone might say that to you, like your friend or family member. Well, you can probably have YouTube videos. Someone can say anything they want to you, right? You interpret it yourself, and it's there for you to listen to. And the guy said this. He said, listen, the first time you meet someone, they look you up and down. He said, and they look at you. You got a Bricklin car. Interesting. I collect Japanese performance parts. I have a motorcycle, the Dark Bar Electric. Interesting. Funny, I'm getting a lot of message about KAITO. Remember KAITO? It's just getting tweeted about and talked about. The charts look horrible. It's the lowest it's ever been. But it's got some AI infrastructure in it. And it was getting mentioned, I think, even at Lisbon, like the CCC. I could be wrong, but I swear I saw a tweet, KAITO and CCC or something like that. And again, if you're going to Lisbon, shout out to anyone. Join the Telegram group. I'll put a link to it. We're going to have a very small meetup, whoever's in Lisbon, Portugal, this weekend. I believe Friday afternoon, we're going to have a meetup together in Lisbon. So, does a 64 Impala count? Yeah, of course. Sam, you just dress to impress if you need to impress someone. Yeah. I know millionaires who look like bums. I do too. I'm not with that. Yeah, my grandfather was a bricklayer. He didn't dress like that. My family dressed nice. It wasn't about money. It was about respect for yourself. My grandfather wore a suit and tie to work, even though he was a bricklayer. He'd take the suit off, put on an apron. So what about picnic token? I don't know what picnic token is. Picnic token. I'm Portuguese. God bless you. Yeah. I'll take a Lambo, though. Somebody said, yeah. When you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you do good. It feels good, man. Well, the guy talked about frequency, and he talks about when you look in the mirror and like the way you look, it adds an actual endorphin. An endorphin, a frequency that goes into your mind, and it starts making you believe you can do anything you put your mind to. Says, you ever look good? You ever like what you're wearing? You ever find out everything kind of goes well that day? And there's a reason for that. He says it's actually a science. It's a spiritual law. Because you're in tune with yourself, and you're moving in the right way of vibration. It's a vibrational law, like it's weird. I never knew this. I listened to this today. I'm just regurgitating what I heard, and it makes sense to me. You do your hair right. You make sure everything is prim and proper. You make sure that every detail looks fine-tuned. Why not? You're a fine-tuned machine like a Lamborghini. Why not make sure that you look perfect? Make sure you're ready to rock. Someone says you need to look at VeChain. Let's take a look at VeChain. Bitcoin going sideways still in chop here on the smaller time frames, not looking amazing. Still looks like it may roll over here. The 1 hour battling that 200 moving average. Treat yourself, it's okay. It's true about the mirror thing. Dude, if you ever look in the mirror and not like the way you look, you're telling me your day's going to go amazing? You look in the mirror and you like the way you look, you feel good about yourself, you're going to have an amazing day. And again, they say, you know what? People judge you when they look at you. No matter what you say, they're going to judge, by your life and who you are and all that. But the first thing they see is you. And they're going to look you up and down, man. And who's the first person that looks at you? It's you. That's what the guy said today. He said, who's the first person that looks at you and judges you? It's you. You judge yourself. So you might as well make yourself look amazing. And again, I don't want to get into material stuff, but we are stuck inside the skeleton body. People are going to, do what we do. And if we want to put our best foot forward, it's important to take care of yourself. I never looked at it that way. I didn't know that it was part of a high frequency spiritual law, but I found out that today by listening to people older, a spiritual video on YouTube that really spoke to me. My cousin is a Bugatti and a Connex dealer. Some cool stuff in the showroom. That's crazy. When I get a suit like that, playing, and you know what? Even this suit, this jacket isn't that expensive. This is a Calvin Klein jacket I bought last year on Black Friday sale for probably $150, everyone. You don't have to spend tons of money to look nice. You know what I mean? People are wearing Burberry for $3,000 a t-shirt, and they don't look this nice for $140. You do whatever makes you happy. But to me, it's not about buying, brand clothes and making sure it's about looking proper. And you can do that on a very good budget, man. Especially coming up Black Friday, man. After you spend money on the trading group, you can go get it. Because our deal is going to be amazing. Hey, Crypto Lifer, I found you a year ago on Timothy Schultz. I liked your vibes. Turns out one of my mentors watches you. That's so cool, man. I'd love to know who your mentor is. That's an interesting thing to know that your mentor watches me. Better feeling is pulling my diamond card for stupid buying salesman. You're fine. CC is right for the... Oh, man. The Rolex helps, though. Yeah. So I started trading perps, but now I've gotten wrecked. But I think I can learn from you, and I thank you for putting out vibes out there. Well, if you're trading perps, you got to demo trade. You got to demo trade for a little bit, man. Right? That's all. You got to demo trade. Yeah, your favorite YouTube watcher. No, honestly, I don't care what anyone else does. It doesn't matter to me. God bless everybody and what they do. Sometimes you're young, you want to buy a $3,000 shirt. I get it. It's just what people do, man. Once you get older, man, you're just I don't know. You almost look silly for doing what young kids can do. So once you hit 40 years old, you can't do what 32-year-olds can do. It looks funny. There's something about age that tells you can't do that anymore. You know what I mean? You just can't. I don't know what it is. For me, there's some rules to age, right? There's some respect there. Maybe I'm old school too. I'm an old man. You know, VeChain just had a little bit of a bounce, you know, a little bit of bullish div. Nice little bounce. Nothing amazing. Nothing to write home about. Bitcoin's still at 103,492. We're going sideways this whole stream in the choppy chop. I do like this, but this is kind of what Bitcoin did last night and just slop flat, you know. But I love the flag above the 200 on the 21. That's like my favorite sauce in the game right there. That looks amazing. That's awesome. Are you doing a tour in Europe? Netherlands as well? No. I'm just going to Portugal. Yeah. Sam, part of the 99. I'm not seeing the Elite Lifer section on my Discord for some reason. Not sure why. I just wanted to let you know in case there's an issue with the app. Thanks, brother. No issue with the app. It might just be the way you're looking at it. Yeah. Yep. Let me double check. Maybe you're correct too. No, it's right there. I think it just got moved down for some reason. But it's right here. Elite Lifer charts. It's in the official. Actually, you don't even have to scroll down. That just comes up there. Elite Lifer charts. It's right there, man. Yeah. Maybe Stack on the Radar too. Might have just got you there. All right. And there's so much stuff in this trading group that'll blow your mind. Jump on it today. But yeah, I see it right there, man. It should be fine. And we don't know. Maybe it's settings. I have no idea. VeChain does look good. It's in the pattern. It's in the model. It bounced off the 21 above the 200 moving average. It had a bit of an inverted head and shoulder. Looks like it's taking off. Some good news there. VeChain's been making some connections. UFC. Dana White's talking about it. You know what I mean? So, VeChain. Saw AJ did that. I think AJ Writes Crypto did an interview with Dana White. That looked pretty cool. Amazing. All right. Yeah, the experience was unbelievable. It really was, man. I have to be honest, though. I expected a lot, like a little better treatment. I waited around for like 2 hours, even though we had an appointment. It kind of was a bit odd. I have to be honest. You didn't get a bag or a hat. They gave me 2 free hats. No bag, no t-shirt, no jacket. I thought you would get like a bag, a t-shirt, a hat, a nice little welcome gift. He said, no, only if you buy new. I said, okay, so like I said, $250,000 ain't new. Like, I don't know. I thought it was a bit odd. I'm actually going to write to the headquarters one day and explain that I thought it was a very strange. The salesman was amazing. The way he did it was nice. Just the overall experience wasn't done properly. For a high-end experience, in my humble opinion. Yeah, no, I was very disappointed. Very disappointed. I actually want to make a video about it one day and just kind of talk about it. Just being honest. Like, as a consumer, I like to do consumer criticism. A very, very odd behavior. Yeah. Literally made me pay for a t-shirt. I found it was the oddest experience of my life, man. My buddy was with me and he was like, what? It's like they were jealous I was buying it or something. Like they couldn't handle it. It's like, I don't know. I thought it was a bit weird. You think the nicest dealership in the world, if you buy something from there, you would get basically a bag, a hat, a shirt, a little welcome package, you know, a little folder with some stuff in it, some sticker. I don't know, man. Right? Yeah. I don't know if that's like it at all, the dealerships, or if they're just going through transition and they don't know what they're doing. Lamborghini, baby. No, but anyway, I love you all. It doesn't matter to me. I never want to be looked at like that guy. You know what I mean? It's just a way to procure wealth. It's a fun way to do it, right? Yeah. You didn't get the swag properly and never keep a VIP waiting. 100%, man. No swag and they kept me waiting. It was really weird. For like almost an hour and a half. Like, and I kept wondering, like, what is going on over here? Should have brought all the lifers. Should have called all the lifers to show up. Like 50 people outside. Like. On my other channel, I'm going to put a bunch of videos out about it. I don't want to look like a bragger. I really don't, man. I want to keep it super, super humble and low-key. I just don't want to be that guy. I really don't. My wife, too, she scolded me. She's like, don't be that guy. You know? So. Waiting movie, yeah. Really, especially for what we pay for a vehicle. Yeah, exactly. I'd rather be able to drive my money down the road 100%. I was so sick of staring at money, everybody. I was so sick of being obsessed with digits. I was so sick of constantly worrying about, a million here, how much there, I can make this with that and that with this. It was just like always about money to me all the time. And I finally said, man, I'm so done. Like, I want to do something cool. I want to do something different. I just want to change it up for once in my life and kind of live outside of the way I usually live. And so it was amazing. But anyway, yeah. Should have wore a hoodie. I know, right? I found it somehow. I minimized the official group section. Thank you. God bless you, man. I'm so happy you came back to me with that feedback. That's more important to me, honestly. Sambo. They call him Sambo. Sammy is free. I know, right? I just say, I let go, man. I just let go. To make money, you have to let go of it. Isn't that weird? You can't hold on to your money. If you hold on to your money, you're sitting there and it's all you got, man. Love that video last night, window shop. It was tight, man. My buddy shot that at the perfect time. He got the perfect part of the video. Yeah. God bless you, Sammy. Yeah. Yeah, I saw this post with the powder and a 50 playing. Love you, man. Yeah, exactly. Real wife, real family, yeah. Yeah, man, call him Samborghini over here. I came with that last night. I was like, hey, I never thought about that. They call him Samborghini over here. You're one of the realest. I started my channel, Sam. Gratitude, man. God bless you, brother. Keep going, man. Never stop. It's not like all the other laminators and right? Yeah. Exactly. The only way to make money is to spend. Please take a look at Bitcoin on the 8 hour, touching the 21 of the trend line. Let's take a look at what you're saying there. You may be onto something, and I love that 8 hour, and I do use the 21, so you're probably saying something that speaks to me. I don't know. Look at that 5 minute though. That's a descending triangle. That's looking bearish, folks. That's looking like you're gonna roll over. I don't, even the smaller time frames are just kind of continuing to crush. Yeah, you're saying the 8 hour there, but look, I mean, to me, looks like you're gonna make a head and shoulder pattern, no? Like, that just looks bearish to me, bro. And you're gonna begin another descending triangle. And you're at the top of the channel, bouncing down. You're hanging on the 21, but it's not, hung on the 21 there, you fell through. Hung on the 21 there, fell through. I get it. We might just wick down now, but the trade's down $41 right now. Just so you know, it's been up and down throughout the entire stream. It's down $50, 1%. It's a bear flag, stops above the wick. I'm going down to $83,000 on the trade. That's the idea. Only time will tell. One step at a time, one channel at a time. So I'm going to flash it one time, all right? You're going to see it one time. I don't want to be, but there it is, all right? That thing is absolutely gorgeous, all right, man? You've never seen anything like it. You never seen anything like that, all right? Nothing. It's one of a kind. It's super beautiful. It's the crypto lifer, man. It says everything about my hard work ethic. I cried my eye. I'm not going to get into it, man. It's just a piece of metal. I love y'all. It's about life is about your love. It's about your passion. It's about working hard every single day. Those things are just representations of hard work and discipline. Okay? That's it, man. So yeah, that thing rips. It rips. I was ripping that thing yesterday. It absolutely rips. It's a spider, top down. It thing is sick, man. It's sick, man. I'm not over you on my shorts. Say it isn't so. Got you by 87 USD, baby. I love you, man. I love you, bro. I love you, man. Funny that did not even talk about the groups. We're family. I want to talk about the group, but I also don't want to piss people off, man. Some people take things a very strange way. You see what I'm saying? And I want to make sure it's all about the group, all about the charts, all about what's happening, and not get anybody distracted. So it's the focus is on the group. The focus is on that. I'm not trying to brag and put things. That's not what it's about. All right. The focus is on God. The focus is on working out today. What I did post in the group was Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn talked about transitioning from our job to another job, from our regular job to a business, and how hard it is and what we have to do to make that transition. All right. It's cold out now, but I know the top down and the breeze had you feeling different. Isn't it crazy how cold it is here in Florida today? Like, what are they doing to us? Like, Stack, I can't handle it. Just like you now, man. I can't handle this cold, bro. What are they doing? 52 degrees today, bro? Like, come on. It's going to be 71 and 76 tomorrow. I guess it's going to come back. It's only for a couple days. But it was like 39 degrees last night or something crazy, right? It's not brag. It's a celebration of your success. Congrats, Sammy. Daily goals hit. Yeah, it's about to explode. Adobe is set for huge gains. Really? That's interesting. And I like Adobe. I've used it in the past. Adobe Ink. You know, people are editing with it. They do a lot with it. It kind of has an Adam and Eve there on the 8 hour. The daily's very oversold. I don't love it though, man. I don't love the market structure that I'm looking at. Let's look at the weekly. Still below the 200 moving average. It's attempting to double bottom. If I was going to trade Adobe, I'd have to see it retest 373. It would have to break out here. It looks like it's in a descending triangle that's about to go lower, my friend. I could be wrong. Let's test that theory, but that looks bearish to me for Adobe. Looks like it's getting sold off. Kind of double top. Has an Adam and Eve vibe. Adam and an Eve right there. Doesn't look too good to me. I could be wrong. Sam, what's your show? Excites us to know what we could achieve with your mentorship. 100%, man. Maybe I'll do it at one time. I want to talk about the best way to do it, man. Yeah, chemtrails were all over the sky this morning. They were gone for a month. I saw them everywhere today, man. Beautiful car. You deserve it here for a gallon of gas. Hey, man, $10, man. God bless you. You say I show the car. The guy gives me a super chat. Thank you, man, so much. God bless you. Yeah, I'll do a whole inside and out video. We'll talk about it. We'll go through it. It'll be fun. It'll be amazing. Everybody, I love you. I appreciate you. I thank you so much for being here every single day. And, you know, they make you finance it kind of to get you in the good graces. It's just like, I don't know, but you don't have to. I really didn't even want to. You know, did you finance? Just wondering, no. I'll talk about it on my other stream, you know. We'll go over it. It'll be a whole in-depth live on that idea, you know. All right, everybody, I love you. I appreciate you. It's not going to be easy to stay inside this market, but we got to keep our head about us and keep pushing. All right, long-term goals. If you can't handle the swing, if it's too volatile and you find yourself losing a lot of money up and down, have a long-term goal. Demo trade. Begin to get your wits about you. And let's take a look at BTC one last time before I jump on out of here for the day. I can't believe how fast the stream went today. It flew by like this. And life's going to fly by, man. 10 years is going to go by so fast. Yeah. You earned it. God provided for you. As long as you're sharing it with love and abundance, you should not feel guilty. It will inspire people, man. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. "50-minute showing signs of life for the possible inverted head and shoulder. Not loving my short right now. You know, the 1 hour looks like it could bounce. It's very oversold. We've got tweezer bottoms of the 1 hour now. It's very hard to hold the big time frame trades, right? Look, now they're coming back with a vengeance on the 1 hour. 15-minute looks somewhat strong. 5's attempting kind of a cup and handle there. See, cup and handle, kind of an Adam and Eve. 1 minute showing, I don't know. It could go either way. It's looking sketchy. I would zoom out and not play with the smaller time frames, but you guys are going to do whatever makes you happy. All right. Beautiful car. You deserve it here for the gallon. Thank you. Everyone, I love you. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful day. Stay blessed. Stay amazing. And keep pushing every single day. All right. Don't stop. Bitcoin looks like it may get a move here. I can't. It's confusing to me today. I have to be honest with you. The bigger time frames look bearish. The smaller time frames are attempting to hold on. The 1 hour's, barely holding the 200 here. We know if we get back above it, it could be a short squeeze all the way right back up to 104.591. So remember, the stop is at 108. It's a higher trade. It's a bigger idea. Just like my trades to be perfect. So sometimes I just There it is, battling the 200 yet again. So watch out. We may get a massive short squeeze up here. If not, we'll make the bear flag. Smart move is to do nothing. If the bear flag plays out, take the short here. I feel like I jumped the gun a little early there. And now I got to pay the price and wait. And it actually could smash me too. So just be careful. You don't want to be me right now. There's high anxiety right now in my trade. So I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Stay blessed. Stay amazing. And stay focused if you can. Right? This market's been tough. Don't let X get in your head. Don't let the post of the news treat you and make you think you know what's going to happen. Tell yourself you know nothing but the fact of your own ignorance and battle the charts every single day. I love you all. I appreciate you. And I'll see you tomorrow. May God bless you all. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time and your knowledge and your wisdom. A lot of awesome people in the chat, and I thank you for your super chats. God bless you all. I'll see you tomorrow. The secret to success is getting started. Every single person that ever did anything great with their life started something. The famous race car drivers we know, they got into a car, a go-kart, something. They pressed the gas, right? Everyone that did anything with their life, they started it first and began the process one step, one moment, 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 day at a time, right? So all you could do is begin something. Have faith that you can continue to do so. If you begin something, you have focus and discipline, you're going to be somewhere where I'm at in life, in whatever you choose. Just keep pushing yourself every single day. And don't stop. I love you. It's not going to be easy. Sometimes it's going to feel like the hardest thing in your life to keep pushing. Comfort will call you to stop. It will tell you it's time to take a break. It's time to relax. And you're going to fall back into those old habits that we have. But we must push forward. If we want to be great and become somebody great and change our lives, we must be disciplined and focused. And we can't do what everyone else around us is doing. We got to learn a new skill while we're already at a job. We got to add to our education while we're at school. We have to push ourselves and find a way that really makes us feel amazing. I remember I used to go to work. It's fine. But now I work on my own channel. The feeling is unbelievable, right? Every single day is more fulfilling than the next. I get to work on my own business and my own structure and help the world, right? I used to work for other people my whole life, and I used to go to a night shift, and I used to travel to work. I work from home now. It's a completely different vibe. And I work so hard for it, and I have to still continue to work hard every day to make it happen. And nothing is given. No trade is given to me. I battle the charts every single day. I'm not always right. It is what it is, and I have to deal with it constantly, right? So it's a lot of stress. It's not easy, too. Trading for a living is a very high stress job. You have to find ways to deal with the stress, to bring the stress level down, because it's going to be very stressful. I'm telling you. I don't care who they are. I don't care how many big wins you have. To get back in those wins, you're going to have to take shots and risks. All right, and that's kind of trading in a nutshell. I take risks every day in front of you. That's the difference between me and people that don't make it. I love you all. God bless you. I'll see you on the flip side.